Welcome to Top of the Line. This is the podcast version of our YouTube show. New episodes every Monday and Friday where we talk about audio and hi-fi related themes.
If you have any requests for a future episode, send us an email, totl@abyssheadphones.com. So hi guys. Anyway, I should say that this is from one of our emails at totl@abyssheadphones.com. So if anyone wants a topic that we want us to discuss, for us to consider, totl@abyssheadphones.com.
Oh, wow.
So Ray here says, hi guys. I really enjoyed watching you guys and learning. Your synergy with each other is fantastic. Adding DMS has been a great fit. Yeah, we agree about the synergy. And yeah.
I see.
Just kidding, Doug. I've been listening to headphones since the early 80s, in the Walkman days. So yeah, we know about that. You know, that's when headphones, I think, were popular the last time around. Yeah. And somewhere along the way when the Walkman died, headphones kind of went along with it and went away until the iPod came along.
Kinda.
Yeah. So it's kind of one hell of a long gap if you think about it.
Well, there was portable CD players, but...
So anyway, he says that someday he's going to own an Abyss headphones, and he started his piggy bank for saving this. Okay. And what he was wondering is, he noticed that his current gear always sounds best at night, and wanted to know about that. Why that might be. What happens at night? The sun goes down.
Yeah.
It's
usually.
Dark.
Depends on where you are.
Doesn't the ionosphere go up, like higher? Like I know there's a layer of atmosphere that increases in height because the amateur radio operators use it to bounce signals off of and talk to like Rangoon from here, you know.
Is it a thermal effect or something? Why does it happen at night?
I don't know if it is. I'm not sure, actually. But yeah, definitely there's some layers of atmosphere that go higher, which allow a bigger bounce angle, kind of like playing pool. You know, you bounce a signal out.
It's like that.
Well, same thing. I hear pilots say it's always smoother air at night.
Oh, yeah. So I guess a lot of things go on up there in the atmosphere. Yeah, but
I mean, that doesn't really affect your audio gear, though.
Yeah.
It might, though.
I mean, it might.
I don't think this is particularly related to what's causing
well,
issues.
I don't know what exactly is related.
It seems pretty unlikely.
If we got to look at the picture, let's look at the big picture.
The big picture.
Yeah.
Okay. That you have some sort of sunspot predicament causing some influence on your amplifier.
That would be inconsistent.
I don't know. It causes problems with electronics, doesn't it? Isn't that what the deal is with it, especially in bad times? Did you ever monitor that or follow it? I had a guy call me a couple weeks ago, actually, one of our customers, and he was talking about how his wife used to be sensitive to that. And how he's very sensitive to it.
To what?
To the actual sunspot activity.
Really?
Yeah, he's sensitive to it. He's actually sensitized to it, which I ain't never thought of that because I've never watched sunspot activity versus anything. I don't pay attention to it.
Maybe
but apparently in astrology, that's one of the things that these people look at, you know, among where the planets are and the stars align and all that stuff like that. But let's not get too deep in this. I don't really know about that. Anyway, you got any ideas about electrical or whatever's going on at night that makes this the system sound clear?
I would say effectively 100% of these apparent sonic differences are classic psychoacoustics.
No, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, right?
Well, I guess it depends how late at night you're talking.
Yeah. Why?
Well,
after enough beers, you mean?
Well, I mean, that's definitely a factor. It could be a factor.
Yeah, you got to consider that.
But, well, there's less other people using power if it's
true.
late enough.
Right.
So.
And a lot less like factories going.
Well, if you're near factories.
Yeah.
Well, there's a significant amount of things that can influence it. It could be something to do with the power. That's possible. It could have an influence. It probably would be very low, near zero, but not zero.
No, I guess you never read or knew about this in audio. It is almost always blamed on the power. You notice at night the voltage raises coming into your house? You usually have a higher voltage at night.
It depends on your distance.
Well, sure, it depends. I'm not saying it's everybody, but there's a significant amount of people have experienced this where at night it sounds better.
What if they have regenerators?
Well, I guess then you'd be immune to that. That would be a litmus test. If you could go plug into the wall and then plug into that and during the day, which I guess that's why people buy regenerators is because they have a problem during the day.
Right.
And they want it to
You're going to be at higher risk, but it depends on your electronic design. Yeah, Modern electronics that are well designed, there'd be almost no impact with small changes in input voltage or even input voltage distortion.
Tube amps have a problem with input voltage. It varies a lot.
Well, they can't. It depends on the design.
Yeah, tube amps for sure. I know.
They run out of power as the
I
voltage goes
know
down.
Guitar players.
They have less power.
Actually,
They're direct online.
Yeah, I mean they work off a transformer. It's not a switcher supply or anything like that.
I know with tube amps and guitars, there are people that run them on variacs.
Yeah.
To lower the voltage so they sound different.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing.
I wonder what
that's a lot. I mean, you're talking like probably 5 or 6 volts, like something you probably wouldn't normally see.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is that the variation? That's what they do?
I don't know how much, but I know some people specifically lower the voltage or raise the voltage.
Back in the day when we used to do trade shows for marketing. Well, way back in the day when I used to do them when you kids were still in diapers, that was an issue at the trade shows because if you were running, especially at shows like in hotels where they weren't made to have every room drawing 6,000 watts of power, and now here you got all these audio guys loading a hotel with audio gear, right? Now the voltage is down to like 110, I've seen it like in the single digits, 105. And the tube guys invariably were having issues because they're like, if you're running like a 2-watt tube amp, and now you're running like you just lost 15, 20 volts coming in.
See, that's a different thing, though.
It's a problem.
In headphones, that's much less likely to occur, and I'm taking in that context. In headphones, you don't see as many tube amps as you do in high-end 2-channel audio, and you don't see people running very, very high power to the point where it's actually loading down your mains in a significant fashion.
Yeah, I guess
like
with
you're
headphones,
not getting 10-volt dips in your mains from your headphone amplifier.
I hope not.
I hope not.
Yeah, I don't.
So
I mean,
it's not that big of an
really
impact.
compared it with the headphones. Probably not. You'd blame other factors with headphones. I think you're not drawing a lot, like you said. You're not drawing.
Yeah, what's the amp take? 50 watts, maybe 100.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's an efficient amp, maybe single digits, a few watts.
But voltage can still affect it because I mean, I think the designers are designing this stuff at a nominal. They're probably assuming they're running 110 or 120 in.
110 plus or minus 10% or so.
Yeah. I mean, you don't even know that, right? I mean, I wonder how many. Most, I think, designers do have a means of measuring their voltage when they're working on stuff, but in terms of amplification, because it's kind of important, especially if you're tuning the thing.
I've always wondered how the average headphone amplifier designer is going to design their electronics, how to design their power filtering regulation and whatnot, if they ensure stability and uniformity.
It's probably a huge variable.
Because nobody specifically rates the input voltage range except some companies that probably actually understand that it matters. Most of the high-end people, they're pretty much doing what they think sounds best. And they're assuming it'll work in your household, but they probably don't test the lower limit of the design voltage, the upper limit of the design voltage.
Right.
And I would like to see how many people actually do that, what the impact is in changing input voltage on a lot of gear. I would imagine it's very small on some gear and very significant on others.
I don't know. Did you ever pay attention to it?
Well, that's the thing. It's pretty much only listen at night. So, so I don't really know.
Yeah. The only time I really did it in a day is when we're at a trade show. And then you're in unknown surroundings. And we've had all kinds of voltage issues at shows.
Yeah.
We've definitely had voltage issues.
Show's very different.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very far from ideal situation.
Those dramatic issues definitely affect the sound, like to the point where the system dies. Things blow up.
Someone was really high voltage one time and took stuff out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
like you still like double the price. It's like, whoa, bad news.
Yeah.
The biggest issue at a show is probably simply the line impedance. They have very far from ideal settings that typically have very long runs compared to what you see in a typical residence. And a lot of times, just due to the nature of the distribution, to make it cost effective, you could have impedance that's nearly an order of magnitude higher than you would get from a typical outlet at home, where you're pretty physically close to the main panel and physically close to your transformer. So these things are pretty much significantly magnified at a trade show. But at home, I haven't really noticed anything on any of my gear ever.
It could be because we all have our own homes and we know what the wiring is. Like I've got a dedicated run to my room. I put it in. It's a 10 gauge. It's our wire. It's our power ACN wall. Every outlet's wired with it too. So I got to know. I got to give in terms of delivery. And I guess if you think about the backward side of this, like coming at it from another angle, if you did have deficiencies in home wiring, the outlets themselves, maybe they're older outlets, they have some contact resistance. These things would manifest themselves to a higher degree at a lower voltage coming out the wall than a higher, because these resistances are adding up. Loose screws in the mains panel. I mean, I went over my screws in my mains panel like twice since I moved 20-some years ago. You probably did yours, right? Do you notice how the electricians don't always tighten all the screws?
It's somewhat inconsistent.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could have something stupid like that, and who the hell would ever track that? Did you ever go through your mains panel?
Only some of them. Yeah. When I was putting in a new 240.
Once I had the cover off, I went through all of them. In fact, it wasn't that far after I moved in and opened. After a few months after I moved into the house, I'm like, well, I don't trust the electricians. And I even found some outlets where they didn't really tighten the screws that well on the outlets.
It's not that uncommon.
They're like, you think these guys are strong? They got, they're doing this all day long. You think it would be like, you'd strip the damn thing.
Oh, yeah. Mine were all the outlets that I replaced. They're from like 1963.
Right.
They were all really tight.
Oh.
They were nice outlets.
Yeah. See, good electrician.
Yeah.
Good outlets. Yeah, those are nice outlets.
Yeah.
So nowadays,
well, you got to get high grade outlets. You could get the really cheap
not
ones.
The 60 centers.
Yeah.
They're not great. I have pretty high incoming mains voltage, so maybe I'm less
Well, you
impacted.
just happen to be right by a transformer. So you're near, right? It's right in front of your house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have, that helps.
And presumably close to the substation.
And I have never had a real problem at home either. I run in around 120 volt range.
Yeah, mine's like 120,
120 flat?
It varies a little bit. It might go up to 125 or so and then drop down.
I get like 127, 128 at night.
Yeah. Oh, really? That high?
Yeah.
Mine doesn't go that. It's 121 pretty much.
Yeah, because I got that Equitech and it's got a digital meter.
Yeah, that's why I
it.
watch mine on too.
Yeah, but I turn it off because it annoys me, so I haven't looked at it in a while. But yeah, it's usually up there.
Yeah, I also turn
but
it
I know,
off.
like I said, we've been in other areas of the country where it's not that's not the case.
Sometimes, it's like 106.
You're running, like I said, in the low hundreds sometimes.
Yeah.
And it starts to scare some people, I notice in the show, because they know that at some point something's going to drop out.
Well, you are straining typically the lower limits of the power supply design. Effectively, it's making your capacitors not as good when you have lower input voltage. They're doing more work oftentimes, and they don't hold as much energy because they're storing energy at a slightly lower voltage.
They don't come to full charge.
Right. So it basically makes your power supply
would
slightly
add
less potent.
That would add more ripple to the supply,
ripple,
probably. Sure. Yeah, at a higher current demand, which would add more noise to the system.
But in the high end, a lot of times there's so much regulation filtration that it isn't really substantial. It doesn't really matter. You look at any of the high-end designs, typically they have way overkill, way beyond reasonable capacitance on the
still get at the rails
filter.
of an amplifier.
It can.
Most amps aren't regulated.
It's kind of trivial.
It's expensive to regulate the rails on an amp. You don't usually see it too often.
Yeah, but they dump caps on it.
But a switcher, if a switching power supply wouldn't care, which a lot of stuff is using that now too.
I think there's a lot more past just the physical mains input voltage.
But is there anything else we could think of that would happen at night other than drugs, alcohol? You get tired. Physiological. I'm talking.
Tired. I don't think making you tired is going to make it sound better, though.
Maybe you're a bit more relaxed because
Right.
you're probably more stressed. I mean, if there are physiological
It's
changes,
easier to focus for most people at night.
Yeah, the kids are sleeping. Hopefully,
hopefully.
no one's yelling at you. You're not at work.
Yeah.
So I mean,
there's
that too. So I'd say if we're going to chalk this up to a few things, there's a few things involved with it. But for the most part, people do. I've heard that a number of times. Haven't you?
I've heard it.
Sounds better at night. 2-channel. The headphones I haven't.
Yeah.
2-channel, I could believe. There's a lot of reasons for that. You also have more ambient noise too.
Well, that's true.
Typically in the day.
That's true.
It's not a huge amount,
even anywhere near
street
road,
noise.
Yeah, you get way less of that.
It's definitely a lot
You
quieter.
can measure that easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of off the beaten path a little bit, so I don't hear much of that. But yeah, if you're closer to, even within a mile or so of a main road, it's enough to carry.
It can be.
You could add a couple dB of noise to the room.
You're also less likely to disrupt people in the house playing music loudly later at night. I mean, late enough, it kind of goes the other way. But the middle of the day, a lot of times people don't like you cranking your stereo up, right? If people are home. So that's a potential effect there.
So there you go. That's why it's better at night.
Well, so we think.
Bust open the scotch. Maybe throw an ice cube in there.
Yeah, that'll make it sound better.
Oh, that definitely makes it sound better.
That would definitely is a big.
No doubt. That's proven.
Part, yeah.
Everyone that does that knows it. The hell with the electricity. Lights go out. I guess I'm going home. I mean, wait, going to sleep. I'm already home.
Yeah, you're already home.
Yeah, time to go to bed. Thanks everyone for watching and listening to our blabber on this one. Take care of yourself.